What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the vlog. You might think it's Christmas morning because we got such a special treat for you here. We're doing decking and we're gonna show you all the tips and tricks on installing this composite decking. We've got trim going up, we've got stair risers, the whole thing. You're not gonna wanna miss it, so make sure you hit subscribe, stay tuned. All right, we're ready to start installing the deck boards, and we have several different portions of this deck. Some of them are gonna be going in different directions, so the layout is super important, especially right here where we're starting. Let me show you what we got. So the plan with this when we were framing was to use full 20-foot boards without a seam on this whole portion, but it was very, very close. So we're only gonna have about a ½ inch to spare on each side when we do our track saw cut. So we had to be very mindful of that when we framed, that we were within those parameters, and now we have to be very conscious of how we lay this so that our boards go just beyond our cut mark on both sides, but we don't end up short. So let me show you what we did. We're gonna have a double border of 5.5. So I snapped this line about a ½ inch away from where we're gonna cut. So if we just line up our boards directly with this chalk line, we should be good, and our cut should be about a ½ inch in. Since we only have about an inch to spare overall, ½ inch on both sides, we have to be very conscious of that and take our time, make sure that we're laying these out nice and straight, but I think it should work out beautifully. A little bit extra time on framing and in the installation, but it's gonna be worth it. We'll save a lot of waste, and it's gonna look nice and clean. Boom! As we lay our first board, we also have a line snapped right across the front. That's measured back for our double border and our overhang. So we'll start by installing this with face screws. They'll all get plugged, and then we can use clips going off of that. Should be nice and simple, and as long as we get this first one nice and straight, the rest of them should go in pretty good. You lined up right on that line? Okay.
Take control.
I was switching out my bits. I had a T25, but then I realized these plug screws, they use a T20, so I had to swap it out. Sorry. Nice little trick is we have a 3/16 gap between our boards for the ends to make sure that those are staying consistent. You can just use the spacer on your speed square. Make sure you check. Some of them are actually 1/8, but if you get one that's 3/16, we like to use this. Put it right there, maintain our gap. Then we fasten the end, we know we're good to go. Moving right along. So now we're transitioning from this deck. We're gonna have a border breaking up that seam, and then we're gonna continue this way. The thing that we need to make sure of is that we're continuing straight across so all of our seams line up, and when you look down the deck, it looks nice and straight, so I'll show you how we do that. This one we know is nice and straight, so what I'm gonna do is butt this piece directly up to here, so we know that this end is lined up. I'll put a screw right here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a string line right in the middle of the board, and we're gonna bring it all the way down, and then we can measure that we're hitting the center of the board as we go. Should be perfectly lined up. We can go off of that. We'll check it a little bit as we go, make sure we're staying consistent, but that's how we like to do it. All right, Tom, you want to go down there? All right, you're gonna make a mark right in the middle of your board. 2 3/4. He's got his end marked. I've got this side marked. We'll make one more mark over here. Okay, don't put it down yet. Put your end down. Keep your end up. All right, we are pretty good there. How do you line it up? Does the board need to move?
Yeah.
Where's it gotta go? Oh, you're good? All right, put a finger down on your mark. Let me double check this one. You good there?
Yep.
All right, so he's got his mark, I'm hitting my mark, he's hitting his mark down there. So we know that all of the ends of the boards are good. I'm gonna screw this end down, then we'll check the middle. Okay, so now all we need to do is check. I'll go every couple of joists. Make sure that you're keeping that nice and tight. No, it's saying it's good. Right in the middle there. Perfect. Love that. All right, so we had measured the middle of the board there, ran that string line. We're hitting center of the board all the way down, so we know that we're coming perfectly straight off of this board. And just to check, we'll do our little eye test. Then at the end of this, make sure it looks straight. Oh my God, it's perfect. Good job, Tom.
Should have done without you, Sean.
I know. All right, we got all of our field boards down here. Next step is to start cutting in our borders with the track saw, and we get a ton of questions on the track saw, so we got a fun little demonstration set up for you. Let's check it out. People are always asking, how do you cut through the deck board without cutting through the flashing tape that's underneath? Well, with this track saw, it's super, super accurate. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna throw down a 20 underneath here. We're gonna cut through the board and we won't cut through the 20. Let's hope. All right, Tony, you ready? Got a 20.
See the 20s underneath there?
Oh! And there it is. Oh, hold on. This isn't a 20. Huh. This is a fake 20 to promote our podcast, The Hardworking Happy Hour. You can check it out on YouTube or wherever you find your podcast. Search Hardworking Happy Hour. We talk all kinds of business and cool stuff, so check that out. So Tony's getting ready to do a track saw cut here for the perimeter. We have our line snapped here where it's gonna get cut. You can see when we installed it, we just put a screw in the center here just as a placeholder to make sure the board doesn't move, but we knew it was gonna be within the cut. So once we snap this line, we put some hidden fasteners right behind it so the end of the board is secured. Now we can take these screws out. We'll cut this.
Locked in for justice.
Sean, why are you painting the deck black?
What? Trying to stay busy, trying to look busy. No, actually, what we're doing is we always stain all of our framing black, especially these nailers going down, because we're gonna have that horizontal trim with a 1/4 inch gap. You will see the yellow tone of the wood kind of poke through and it'll be really obvious. Nice little coat of some black stain, totally disappears. Should have this wrapped up pretty soon. It should dry. Then we'll start on our trim, and you'll really see the difference between non-stained and the black stain on here. We'll put a piece behind it and you'll see the difference. I love this color combo. Probably one of my favorites. The Tundra and the Costa. Costa's probably overall my favorite Deckorators color. One of the things I really like about it, we do a lot of times Costa and Kaya. Kaya is that dark brown. When you pair it with Kaya, it picks up a lot of the brown tones, but when you pair it with the Tundra, which is this light gray, it picks up a little bit of the gray tones in here. So it's very versatile. That's why we use it a lot, and it's gonna be sick. You think?
Yeah, I'm digging it.
He's digging it. You digging it?
I love it.
No, I was talking to the viewers.
Oh.
But since I got you on the horn here, are you digging it? You think it's cool?
I love it.
Sweet. All right. Now that we have these up here, you can see the importance of the black stain on the framing. And you might be thinking, hey Sean, those tiny gaps, you're not gonna see any of that. That was pointless. Well, let's check. Stained? Not stained. Worth it?
You be the judge.
You can like slow my voice down there? That'd be cool.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. My bit. Gotta get a new bit. Starting to get to one of my favorite parts, which is trimming out these stair risers. It's one of my favorite details, how we have these wrap around and just continue with that same gap. So we're mitering these corners. Show you a couple tips for that. What do you think? You want a couple tips?
Are you asking me this time or the audience?
You.
Oh, I don't need any tips. I'm an expert.
Oh, okay. The audience probably does, though.
Probably, yeah, probably.
So we'll show a couple tips here. We've got our front piece on here. Now we're gonna measure back, and you can see we have it nearly flush, just a tiny bit of an overhang. That gives us the ability to adjust this piece a tiny bit and make sure that our outside corner is really nice and tight. So I've got a hair over 42 3/4 on our top. From the bottom, it's 42 7/8. So I'm gonna cut it to 42 7/8. I'm gonna loosen up this screw, and that's gonna force it to the same measurement, and we should have a nice miter there. Oh yeah, this is gonna be nice. It's a little bit longer on the top than it is on the bottom. What I'm gonna do is just get a screw started, just to really hold it up. That closed it up nicely already. We've got this just about good. It's pretty close. I'm gonna do the same thing on the bottom. That really didn't need much adjustment at all. We're still a tiny bit over at the top, so let me just see if I sink this screw. We're still just the tiniest bit favoring this side being longer, because what I'm gonna do to really lock this in for justice is get one screw through this board into here, and if anything, that's gonna push this even closer, so should be perfect after this. Easy as that. Well, there you go. Just, you know, do that and then boom, you got this. That's it. But you're gonna have to wait for the next vlog for that. We have a ton of really cool trim details on the bar, on some of our walls over here that we'll show you, and we'll show you some tips and tricks as usual. So make sure you hit subscribe, stay tuned, and until next time, this is Premier Outdoor Living.